Friedrich Asher made a critical analysis of the stylistics of the architecture, iconography and sculptural art of Antichak to argue that Antichak is the site of Vikramashila. The stupa itself bears a remarkable resemblance to the one at Paharpur. Not only are both approaches from the north, as already mentioned by me, but more significantly, they have almost identical plans and elevations. They are also almost the same size. The structure at Antichak 360 feet long from north to south, being just 3 feet 6 inches longer than the one at Paharpur. Such similarity is hardly a chance occurrence. He further categorically submits 3 major points of similitude between Paharpur and Antichak stupas and rightly draws on the chronological and stylistic synergies. Number 1, the existence of the 4 stupendous square chambers facing cardinal directions at both the sides. Number 2, these chambers not leading to the central shrine provided with a separate staircase in both the cases. And number 3, the notably more formalized and stylized modeling of the figurative representations on the terracotta plaques, showing almost identical dimension of 13 to 11 inches at both Paharpur and Antichak. While Bhagwant Sahai made a fairly comprehensive study of the terracotta plaques from the site, the newly published report offers a detailed narrative of 190 terracotta plaques, either recovered from the debris of the plinth of the central shrine or found in situ there. The plaques from the site have striking similarity in composition and style with those from the 2 Pala monastic sites in northern Bengal like Paharpur and Jagjivanpur. Majority of the plaques contain Gana figures besides animal figures, figures of warriors, dancing couples and only a few identifiable Buddhist deities, of which the most prominent is a seated figure of Buddha in Padmasana Bhumisparsha Mudra composition. The excavator divides the stone sculptural repertoire from the site into Buddhist, Brahmanical and miscellaneous groups. The assemblage of Buddhist sculptures consists of Lokeshwara, Maitreya, Manjushri, Tara and Jambhala, while a wide range of stone sculptures of the Brahmanical pantheon are also reported to have been recovered. Compared to the stone sculptures, the number of metal sculptures from Antichak are rather meager. Altogether, 11 pieces have been illustrated in the excavation report, of which only 6 specimens constitute the excavated repertoire. However, in terms of iconographic details and stylistic idioms, these miniatures from Antichak or Vikramashila manifest superior aesthetic expressions of the Pala school. Of special merit are 2 Buddhist sculptures made of stucco in the central temples. Besides, the report also presents a detailed account of the other artifacts, of which some coins of the Pala period remains intriguing, since we do not have any convincing reference to the use of coins within the Pala dominion. Among the metal artifacts in copper and iron, a note on the latter might be revealing. Of nearly 100 specimens described in the published report under the blanket terminology of iron object, about 50 specimens are unquestionably weapons of various categories: axe, shouldered cells, different types of daggers, knives, barbed arrowheads, sickles, hammers and so on. Such an extensive gamut of armament was of course not related to regular activities within a monastic environment and must indicate a steady defense mechanism operating within the early medieval monastic environment of eastern India. I remember I had seen a kind of a piece which is quite unusual for a monastic artifact at Nalanda, where I saw chainmail armor to have been found from Nalanda monastic site 1A. Antichak represents a similar kind of a situation when we look at these weapons. A detailed study of such implements from the different monastic sites of the region is expected to add a new dimension in the realm of archaeology of Buddhism of South Asia. Compared to the other reported monastic sites of eastern India, Antichak has produced throughout the 2 decades of excavations surprisingly scanty inscriptional evidence. Apart from the well documented inscription of Masanikesha, which of course has a major bearing on the nature of local polities in early medieval Eastern India, not a single inscription from the site has so far been able to add any new dimension to our existing knowledge on the site. In the light of B.S. Burma's report, epigraphic records explored and excavated from the site may be conveniently divided into three categories. Again, number 1, inscribed seals and sealings on terracotta and bronze. Number 2, donative inscriptions on stone sculptures, of which a seated Tara deserves special mention, and a terracotta stupa, as well as number 3, a solitary fragmented stone inscription. Of the 59 inscribed specimens of the above categories illustrated in the report, only 2 may be submitted to a critical examination. These are 2 circular ceilings containing the typical monastic emblem of Dharmachakra, flanked by deer on either side, followed by an inscription in the Siddhamatrika characters of about the 9th century CE. One of these records the name of a monastery called Sri Jayasena Deva Vihara. Thus, the identity and location of this hitherto unknown monastic establishment called Sri Jayasena Deva Vihara may be an interesting point of further archaeological interrogation. We shall conclude by saying that there is no point in questioning the identity of Antichak as the site of Vikramashila Mahavihara, given the fact that it is almost unanimously accepted to be so. It should also be noted at the same time that the monastic ceilings excavated from the site hardly have any connection with the name Vikramashila. Further, the site of Antichak, compared to the other well-known and celebrated sites like Nalanda and Bodh Gaya, is less visited by the tourist traffic, and I think there is enormous scope on behalf of the policymakers as well as the archaeologists to make Antichak more visible to the tourist traffic across world. So friends, from this session we learnt about the history and archaeology of the noted site of Vikramashila Mahavihara, which is located in the Bhagalpur district at the village of Antichak in Bihar, and a study of archaeological materials from Vikramashila will now enable you to look at Vikramashila from a much wider and more interesting angle, I hope. So, thank you so much for viewing.